Good evening and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for more races out here in CRL. It is Division 2 and we are here for round 7 at the Texas Grand Prix. My name is Jamie or Indigo and I'll be taking you through this 18-minute qualifying session and the 28-lap race we should have in store for us tonight. But we'll see what happens here in COTA as we left off further up North America at the Canadian Grand Prix, where Jake Garrett absolutely dominated and took the victory by a milestone of 20 seconds with 3-4 finished in P2, and Hobbsy finished in third place. Hobbsy just gets another podium this season too, so things are looking good for Hobbsy so far. Can he keep it up? As he said last week in the podium interviews that he doesn't think he could be challenging, as Canada was his best track. Little One has rejoined and he is back here, ladies and gentlemen. Ethan, as Little One has picked up a podium now and then, and he's also won a championship as well in Tier 3. So Little One is back and he's on PlayStation still. Ethan will continue racing with us hopefully throughout the whole season as well. So it'd be nice to have him back as well. A former Tier 3 driver, of course. I commentated him a lot of times as well. I think he used to be teammates with Dragon of Speed, or it could have been Toby. He was teammates with him on Dragon Speed in the Ferrari at the time. But Little One here, after having plenty of championship fights in Division 3 and getting the race wins and the podiums as well, definitely got some good pace. But we'll see, after a absence a few races ago, has he got the pace still to try and catch up towards these guys here, because these guys are very competitive towards the front end of the field. So it could be a bit difficult for Little One, but nevertheless, we'll see what he could do. He's had a bit of time to practice as well, as he announced himself coming back to Cone. And Wee Rabbi, welcome back to the chat, mate. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. But Little One, I remember him having a race around here. I think he won around here at the USA Grand Prix as well a few seasons ago. So he's got a good track record around here. Can he keep it up? As we make our way now towards turn 16, this right-hander, or left-hander, sorry, as we have this track is anti-clockwise, of course. He come out the pit lane on the left-hand side. But Little One, we're the first man to take us through a flying lap around this 5.3 kilometer circuit. Here we are as we head down towards the final corner. Just want to open up the lap, get a decent run out there. But you can see the back of the car already complaining as Little One applied the throttle. McLaren behind us started his lap too. That could be KXI. That was Spider, sorry. As we head down towards the uphill off camber turn number 1. It can be very difficult to put the power down here, but Little One managed to put the hammer down nice and early as well without losing the rear end of the car. Now we sweep it through this first set, so ebbing and flowing, constant change of direction through here, into 7, downshift into 6 here, as we flick our way now towards this right-hander. We go and turn it, and turn 9 can be very difficult because the top of the hill at turn 9, it's very easy to lose traction at the exit of the corner. As we make our way down towards turn 10, this slow left-hander here, it's very important to get on the throttle as quickly as you can if you're attacking and defending, because you have the DRS on the back straight, of course. Here is the DRS wide open for Little One, and this is where we'll see the overtaking action happen here at this main part of the track. But this track is fantastic for battling, because not only you can overtake around here, you can go side by side into multiple different corners, whether it's down at turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, or this last sector here. This last sector is fantastic for overtaking and battling with the many side-by-side that we had before, especially with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton back in 2018. Here is Little One. The left front tyre takes a lot of punishment on the outside there, as it overheats quite a lot on this circuit. Down into 5th gear we go, coming towards the final 2 corners, but the last corner is very slow, as now we watch Little One with the DRS open. The benchmark is a 32.9, and that will be beaten, I'm afraid, for Little One, because I've seen better times from people in the practice sessions as Spider comes across the line to go up into P2, as it's a 36.0 for Spider in P2. Nacho says, hello Nacho, Huchatet, mate? Sorry, Huchatet, there we go, better pronunciation. Claire PR in the Red Bull goes towards P2, and King Panda, the man that won in Season 10 of the USA Grand Prix, is back on pole with a 32.0, a banging lap time. Diddy is up into P2 with a 32.0. 3-4 is P3 with Claire PR in P4 there. So compared to lap times coming in thick and fast, we've got Hobbsy up into P3, and now Harry Palmer in the Alpine goes up into P2. It's not really been spectacular for Harry Palmer in the last few races. He picked up front wing damage. No, he didn't. He actually went on the wrong strategy. Remember, he went on the wet compound tires. Nacho, I am speaking good Dutch, mate. You just don't like me. I know you don't like me. I'm a bit... I'm a bit under the weather there, but yeah, I'm still ill, Nacho, so this is not my true potential voice. Wow! Phoenix dominates, goes towards the top, with a 34, with a 31.4. What if I said this, Nacho? Ik hou van jou, jongen. How about if I said that? So 6/10 clear of King Panda in P2. Nacho, I can't even pronounce things in English properly. I can't pronounce things properly in English. There we go. I can't even speak English properly. Never mind speak another language. But anyways, here is your first initial lap times there on the board as we see people on the soft compound tyres. The soft compound tyres only used for qualifying, of course, because they wear dramatically around this circuit. You don't want to go to soft compound tyres at all. As Bosch Evans said, looked promising in practice sessions, but unfortunately he has invalidated his lap time, so that won't count. I will have to go through it again as well. But it's super close if you exclude Phoenix though. P1 Phoenix is a sweat, so of course he's already up there. Oh, Bosch Evans has slided through turn 10 as the rear end of the car just locking up and complaining on him as well. KXI up into P9. KXI, last time he raced around here in USA, of course, he got disqualified. No, he retired from this race after a great battle with Dragon of Speed. Remember him and Dragon of Speed always fighting in the first sector because Dragon of Speed had low downforce. KXI did a brilliant move around the outside in turn 9 and turn 10, but Dragon of Speed got it back immediately as he drifted the corner. KXI on a second set on the soft compound tyres is starting another flying lap around here in Kota, so it heads towards turn number 1. This is his third lap on the set of soft compound tyres there, so let's see if the tyres are still good in shape. Does Phoenix ever leave the house? Boy's always up there. Yeah. Phoenix, if you don't know about Phoenix, he is a mechanic, but when he is at home, he always practices, so hopefully he gets promoted into Tier 1 because we want to see some good racing action. No disrespect to Phoenix, of course, but at the same time, we want a closer competitive grid. And Phoenix, we don't want always somebody dominated, so yeah, that could be the case. But KXI headed down towards turn 10 then in third gear as he gets back on the power, nicely straightened up as we head onto the back straight with the DRS wide open, heading towards turn number 12 we go. It's the heavy breaker zone. Turn 12, you can cut the corner just a bit there, but let's see how she takes it going down towards the heavy breaker zone. Just kiss the apex there, so it doesn't really maximize all the track. But in the middle sector, he is a 10th up. Expect more faster tyres because he did fuel the car up for more than one lap, of course, on a 3-lap old set of soft compound tyres, so plenty of time left to be found for KXI as he has a massive wobble on going out of turn 16 there as we head towards the triple right-hander. Full speed, left front tyre taking a lot of punishment. Before we dive down towards turn 19 and turn 20, you want to utilise all the track on the exit, but of course it's very easy to invalidate. You can be very careful as he heads towards the line with the DRS wide open. In fact, he doesn't even open DRS. KXI stays in P8 with a 32.7, but he did improve, but not his position. KXI, a little one, doing the same strategic thing as well by doing a few laps on a set of soft compound tyres, maybe saving a set of soft compound tyres later on in the Grand Prix just in case there is that late safety car. You've always got a set of soft compound tyres left ready in your disposal to use for those type of moments, of course. Toby in P19 on a flying lap is the Haasman. Let's see what he does as he heads down towards turn number 12. Toby, must be said, has been quite consistent getting inside the top 10. Finished P6 last time out at the Canadian Grand Prix. So he does regularly finish inside the top 10 as well. His best result came at the Canadian Grand Prix in P6. In fact, Imola was his best result in P5 after penalties were applied after the race. But yeah, Toby's been very consistent in terms of getting himself inside the top 10 as he makes his way towards turn 19 and turn 20, but he heads back in the pit lane, so not overall happy with his lap. AFL, unfortunately, retired at the Canadian Grand Prix last time out. He did struggle, of course. He was a lap down, and in qualifying, he had a few problems as well, so he didn't set a lap time in qualifying. Only got 4 points to his name in P16 as AFL, so he'll be looking to try and bounce back here. So far, he made his appearance back, I think, after the Singapore Grand Prix when he came back. After he is a good friend, of course, a good commentator. Him and Spider usually partner alongside each other in the commentator box. But he's swooping through now towards turn 16. This left-hander, you really want to open up the corner, try and get a good exit out of here. A lot of people go wider in towards turn 16, try and really open up the corner and get a better exit. Slow in, fast out corner. Here we are towards the triple right-hander we go as he makes his way towards turn 19 and turn 20 just lifts off the throttle there as we make our way now towards the final corner. You can see that the ERS has been used up already as he makes his way towards the line. It's going to be P15 with a 34.5 there. For AFL, Bosch Evans is still out there on a flying lap. He's coming towards the top of the end of the first sector. We didn't quite see his first sector time, but Bosch Evans now makes his way down towards turn 10. Remember at the Canadian Grand Prix when things went wrong for him. He started on the wet compound tyres on a track where it was wet, but unfortunately for him, the Inters were better tyres. Same with Harry Palmer. Harry Palmer now coming towards the end of the first sector. He is 2 tenths up in the first sector, is Harry Palmer. So let's see how he does as he progresses through turn 9 and turn 10. How is this going to shape out? How is this shaping out? How is this lap going to shape out for Harry Palmer as he heads down towards turn 10 then? Kissed the apex very nicely, but massive oversteer. Had to counter it at the exit of turn 10 as he will lose time all the way down this straight. Diddy is up into P2. It's a Ferrari 1-2 with Diddy in second place there. And it's looking good so far for the Ferrari boys, but there's a massive gap between first and second place. The gap is 6 tenths of a second. Harry Palmer, look at that. A big improvement in the final sector there as Bosch Evans goes up into P5, a competitive lap time for him. But Harry Palmer is on an absolute flyer coming towards the end of the middle sector. Can he keep it nice and tidy, or will he invalidate as he uses all the battery he has left as we swoop through the end of the final sector? Hobbsy goes up into P3 with a 31.8 there. That's a competitive lap time from him in the Aston Martin. But watch out as King Panda goes towards second place. Here comes Palmer towards the line, and it is P2 with a 31.4, only just a few hundreds away from Phoenix there. And finally, we started to see some competitive lap times for all the drivers there. But Harry Palmer had a big moment out of turn 11, so there's still time to be found as OWR Ben Clark is in 8th place so far. He's been really consistent too, it must be said, in terms of finishing inside the top 10, finished 7th place. His best result came in Singapore. He was fighting for a podium against Hobbsy, but Hobbsy had the better of him in the second stint of the race because Hobbsy did struggle on the mini compound tyres in the first stint, but in the second stint it was better for the Aston Martin driver, and here he is currently in P4. He scored 2 podiums so far this season, but he's showing some tremendous pace indeed. He's P4 in the Drivers' Championship standings, and whilst it's quite quiet on the track, it must be said, we'll see and have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings. So here we are then. Phoenix is first. Oh, who is that? In the background, is it Spider? It's not Spider, it's KXI. So KXI there taking extreme measures to warm up his tyres, but it won't do his tyres any good at all by making it even worse before his lap starts. Cavolis in P14, he has raced around here in USA, a former Tier 4 driver himself, finished P7 in Season 10 at the USA Grand Prix. Here he is then as he makes his way towards the top towards turn 10. Cavolis has been interesting too because sometimes he has good pace and sometimes he does struggle as well. So he's been one to watch out for. P19 is Toby. He's coming towards turn 19 and turn 20 today. Can he finally get a lap time on the board? We're about to find out any few seconds time as he makes his way towards the line. He cuts the beam and is currently P8. He gets himself ahead of his teammate of the little one, who is now demoted into P9 but going for a flying lap on, well, must be said, low battery. But now it is quiet on the circuit with majority of drivers in the pit lane. So we read out the championship standings for you. It is Phoenix who's first place. No, I'm reading out the Canadian Grand Prix, sorry, but here we are then. It is Phoenix who's first with 139 points. 4-star is in second place with 124. Bosch Evans is third, 20 points behind with 104 points. Hobbs in fourth place with 86 points. AJ Wuhan is P5 with 75. 3-4 is sixth with 66. Diddy is 7th place with 47. Ben Clark is 8th with 45. Harry Palmer is P9. It's been a very disappointing season so far for Harry Palmer because he's got some good pace, but unfortunately he's made a few mistakes along the way. And Claire PR rounds off the top 10 with 39 points. Claire PR picking up a podium a few races ago back at the Imola Grand Prix, I believe it was, with Toby 11, Cavolis in P12, King Macaroon, who is not here tonight, in 30, KXI 14th, ahead of Ruben, AFL 16th, Curly 17th, Mark Wilson 18th, Spider 19th, and it's your boy Alfie, who we haven't really seen so far. 4-star FTW. for the win, I think it means. Yeah, so McConey says 4-star for the win. And let's see it then, because I don't think, well, 4-star's been struggling in the last few races, it must be said. But we'll see how he does. He's currently P13 so far in the qualifying standards. Here he is, making an appearance on the track. So is King Panda, Hobbsy as well. King Panda has some great pace as well, despite not being in cone for a long time. But King Panda as well, challenging Bazza Fox and Indian Jesus. What a fight that was between those three. Bazza Fox, Indian Jesus, all those seasons ago. But we'll see what 4-star could do in the RB. He had a very strong start to the season, winning 2 in a row. But after that, his form so far has been reclining. But at the same time, a few people have made contact with him as well. So contact has been made as AFL has retired. It's actually retired out of turn 4. So AFL is out of qualifying, going for a flying lap. So he must have spun at the exit of turn number 6 or 7, I believe, out of the corner. But 4-star getting past the McLaren driver. A bit of mind games going on. That's KXI as well, who got past. But we'll see then. We'll go on board 3-4 first. In fact, 3-4 has turned its ERS into an odd. So I presume he made a mistake out of turn 1. It is a difficult, it's a difficult breaker zone, and also you've got to get around traction as well, because it's so easy to wheel spin out of turn number 1. Uphill, off-camber corner, no grip at all there whatsoever. But we'll watch 4-star then. In fact, King Panda is on a flying lap, so watch him in the Mercedes as we're about to go on board with him right now. Here he is then, diving down towards turn 2 before I make our way towards the end of the first sector, sweeping through, carrying the speed to the corners in 7th gear, downshift into 6th gear, back on the throttle immediately now, coming towards this left-hander, and unfortunately King Panda has invalidated his lap time. Luckily enough for him though, he does have enough time to go for a flying lap, and his tyre wear shouldn't be too bad because he did invalidate the first sector. He can regenerate the battery, so King Panda does have a second shot at the cherry on the cake there. As Bosch Evans now is sweeping through the first sector, our main rivals are on a flying lap. King Panda invalidated as we course we've seen. Phoenix headed towards turn number 1. Hobbsy is end of the first sector. Look at that, Hobbsy, a 10.5 up in the first sector already then, as Diddy is about to make his way towards the large star lap time. So we'll stay on board, I think, with Hobbsy as he's further up the road in comparison to everybody else. So we'll see how the Englishman progresses on his lap time with the DRS wide open for him. Let's see how much time he can find in the middle sector. As you can see, 20% battery, as it's a battery traded track, this one is. As we head down towards turn 12, he does miss the apex slightly. Might have cost him a bit of time. And he's lost a bit of time in the middle sector too. So he was a 10th up, but he lost a 10th already in the middle sector. Bosch Evans is right behind him too on a lap time. He's currently 2 tenths up as Bosch Evans. Can he keep it up in the final sector? Where can he place his Mercedes? Can he get anywhere near his teammate King Panda, who is showing some tremendous pace so far in the other Mercedes? But here comes Hobbs now coming towards turn 19, where we saw, I think it was Claire Piot who crashed, or Tobes who crashed a few seasons ago in turn 19. Hobbs is towards the line now. It's a 31.8 as Bosch Evans goes into P3 ahead of his own teammate King Panda there. So Mercedes looking very strong in P3 and P4. KXI goes up into P6 in the McLaren. Where's Harry Palmer? Harry Palmer goes towards the line now. Qualifies done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Harry Palmer does not improve, but he is on the front row so far. Here comes Phoenix towards line. Phoenix with a 31.0. What a stellar lap time there for the Ferrari driver. Puts a bit of distance between himself and second place and the rest of the field as well. And the rest of them will try and have to respond as well, but I don't think nobody can. Look at Diddy in the middle sector, 3 tenths up as he swoops through turn 19 and turn 20. What can Diddy do in the Ferrari? Can he get himself into second place as he makes his way towards the line now? It's P6 for the Ferrari driver and gets himself in the 31s as well. 4-star is open to P8, which is completed his lap time. Tobes is a 10th down in the middle sector. Little one is headed towards turn 19 and turn 20 into 6th gear. What can the little one do on his debut back here in CRL? Can he get himself inside the top 10? We're about to find out now as he makes the beam. It's P9 with a 32.0 and he puts himself inside the top 10. Ben Clark, unfortunately for him, a disappointing qualifying. Tobes is a 10th down or 2 in the middle sector. So let's see then as he slides on the final corner as he stays in P12 As we've seen somebody ahead of us break his front wing. That's Cavolis. Unfortunately, here he is coming towards the line now. He's up into P15. A disappointing one for Cavolis there in 15th place. So the two Saubers are outside the top 10 despite having a great result at the Canadian Grand Prix. Free fall starts at P3, 10 places down into P13 here in USA. Bosch Evans, though, I don't think it's a lap time. He's headed back in the pit lane because he made the line before the checker flag came out. But of course, you can't do 2 consecutive lap times because the tyres won't be able to take it, and you don't have the battery either. So you can't do two consecutive lap times on a set of any dry compound tyre, maybe on the Inters. But anyways, qualifying is done and dusted, and as expected, Phoenix is on pole once again here in COTA. As we'll take a short break, I'll join you back for the race. So we'll see you all in a few minutes' time. So, the formation lap is about to go underway here in COTA, and we'll see what tyres people have gone for. I can see the top two change the strategy there between Harry Palmer and Phoenix. They've gone for the mediums, one's gone for the hard compound tyres, so both splitting strategies there, but we'll see which one is the best towards the end. Both Mercedes on the medium compound tyres. You know what, I'll love to see how the Mercedes fare out here, because King Panda partnering alongside Josh Evans could really help Bosch Evans in the championship as well. Depends if he wants to play second fiddle towards the half of the season, but we'll see then what has this race got in store for us. Can Harry Palmer get a jump for Phoenix coming towards turn number 1 here? It's very important for Harry Palmer to stay within DRS range of Phoenix in the opening excursion part of the Grand Prix, because otherwise Phoenix would just pull away like he did in Singapore, like he did back in Mexico. And Phoenix there just lights up the rear tyres as well. The medium compound tyre is not particularly a great tyre around here. It does overheat quite a lot as well. So we'll see the medium people start struggling in the first dip. But the mediums to hards, in my opinion, is always the best strategy, because You can get rid of mediums early doors and go on the hards for the rest of the race, but the hard compound tyres are so durable. It can take you a long way in the Grand Prix. So that's why it's easy to do the mediums to hards to try and get the medium still in the way before you go on the hards. Harry Palmer has been disqualified from the formation lap, so he's been reset to the front end of the reset to track, unfortunately, and he's back on the grid already. So hopefully his hard compound tyres aren't too cold, but what will happen going down towards turn number 1? Last time we saw Ferrari on pole, I think it was Carlos Sainz in 2022, and that's when I think George Russell sideswiped Carlos Sainz and destroyed his bodywork side pods, and unfortunately put him out of the race. Then a year later, Carlos Sainz, or 2 years later, Carlos Sainz finished in P2 because Ferrari, for some reason, Ferrari had a brilliant race around here last season in F1, when Charles Leclerc finished in first ahead of Carlos Sainz, because it was I think it was Norris on pole ahead of Verstappen. Then Verstappen got the jump on Norris in towards turn 1, but Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc had a mega pace in the Ferrari as well around a track like this in COTA. Obviously, Ferrari haven't won here in COTA since Kimi Raikkonen back in 2018. Kimi Raikkonen went down the inside of Lewis Hamilton when Kimi was on the ultra soft tyres, I think, or the super softs, as all 19 drivers are making their way towards the line. We've seen plenty of times with second place get the jump on first place. We saw that with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton back in 2015 when Hamilton steamed the inside of Rosberg. He forced Rosberg off the track but able to maintain position, and both Red Bulls were quite competitive as well until Danny Kvyat crashed out in 2015 at turn 19. We saw that Sebastian Vettel got a jump on Lewis Hamilton back in 2017, but Hamilton got him back in towards turn 11 and reclaimed the lead of the Grand Prix to take the finish that day as well. Here we are then, the 5 lights are about to go away anytime soon. And we are underway for the USA Grand Prix. Then Phoenix gets a lovely start, as you expect, on the mini compound tyres. But under pressure, though, from Bosch Evans, who goes up to P2, side by side, as we head down towards turn 1. Bosch Evans taking the wider angle, but Harry Palmer is able to maintain P2, gets ahead of Bosch Evans, as Bosch Evans there tries to go around the outside, but he couldn't quite make it stick. Further in the background there, we see a few cars going side by side. That's McLaren and KXI, and AJ Wuhan going side by side in the first set. So it could be very difficult, but AJ gets the jump on KXI as he puts himself into P7 there. We saw that with Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris back in 2019 when they went side by side as well. As look at that, Bosch Evans, as Harry Palmer's been demoted into P6. Did he make a mistake out of turn number 9 and 10? I'm not quite sure, but unfortunately for him, he's been dropped into P6, but luckily still in the DRS range there. Could have ended worse for Harry Palmer, but he's behind his teammate as well. KXI has overtaken King Panda. It's up into P2, so King Panda's got some mega pace in the Mercedes, but more importantly, it's all about sticking in the DRS range. These two, they can't afford to fight amongst themselves. They've got to follow Jay Garrett, sorry. They've got to follow him. They can't afford to make any sort of mistake. They can't afford to battle in the early stages of this Grand Prix. It's all about sticking with the DRS range. The gap is 8 tenths already, so they need to settle into a rhythm quite quickly. Otherwise, they'll find themselves outside the DRS range. But Hobbsy there is under massive pressure because Diddy looks like he's coming alive here at the USA Grand Prix, showing some tremendous pace, but already Phoenix has pulled the gap over a second ahead of King Panda then, so it looks like the Mercedes driver cannot stay in DRS range as he sets the fast up of the Grand Prix, does Phoenix, as now AJ puts the pressure on Harry Palmer, of course, both on different strategies as we head towards turn 1 we go. AJ defends on the inside line there, but Harry Palmer with a switch back, can he get a better exit on those hard compound tyres? No, he can't, as AJ just stays in front there and maintains P6. Alpine once again scrapping amongst themselves like they did at the Mexican Grand Prix. It didn't work out for them. Diddy goes off the track there in the first sector, but Bosch Evans is all over the back of King Panda. So what they need to do now, both Mercedes, is they need to slingshot each other past on the back straight. That's what they've got to do. Now they've broken the DRS between himself and Phoenix, they've got to slingshot each other and try and get themselves back under DRS there. So here we are then, out of turn 10 we go. You can see a few people sliding the exit of the corner. That was McLaren KXI who had a bit of a moment out of turn 10. Here comes Bosch Evans with the DRS wide open. This gives Bosch Evans a chance to get himself back in DRS range of Jake Garrett. Can he do so? The gap is 1.0 now, but not able to get himself back in DRS range there, so it hasn't worked out, but Jake Garrett still keeps the distance between himself and Bosch Evans, more importantly keeping that gap over a second of the rest of the field, like he's done back at the Mexican Grand Prix and also the Canadian Grand Prix as well, when he just pulled away from everybody, did Jake Garrett. Ben Clock is ahead of 4-star, so the man P2 the championship is not having his way. Is 4-star been demoted down into P11. He sees that Bosch Evans, his main championship rival, and Jake Garrett are pulling away. Is there any pace for Bosch Evans to get himself back in DRS range? He did set the fast up of the course, but he had DRS on the back straight there. But is there any way, as we head towards turn number 1, that's Diddy and AJ going side by side, in towards turn 1 they go. AJ with a nice clean move up the inside, puts himself into P5 ahead of the Ferrari driver, but unfortunately for Bosch Evans there, he's not able to get himself back in DRS range, which could be a massive problem, because instead of trying to go forwards, he has to think about his teammate and the guys behind as well, because Hobbs is up there in P4. Hobbs is doing a really good job so far for Aston Martin in P4. Looking to try and get his third podium of the season is Hobbsy. As King Panda now is under massive pressure from the Aston Martin driver. It looks like King Panda made a mistake somewhere in sector 1 and he's led, unfortunately for him, under massive pressure from Hobbs behind in P4 as we head out of turn on the turn 10 we go on the back straight again with the DRS wide open there, following these guys in the DRS train of course. But Bosch Evans there, he's very close to get that DRS under a second, but can he find any more pace? The problem is though for Bosch Evans, you have to use the battery to try and do that, but at the same time, if you use a lot of battery and you don't get yourself in the DRS range, then it's going to be a problem for you, because you have to think about defending more than attacking from the guys behind. But he's so close. That helicopter cam is also needs to be an option. Yeah, it is. I love helicopter cameras. They always show some good angles on the drivers there. 4-star and Freefall were fighting there, and Freefall puts himself into P11. And much different race for Freefall, but 4-star Freefall, unfortunately, have made a mistake somewhere. Did he make contact with him? There's no way he could have spun in a flat-out corner. Maybe his tyres were overheated, I'm not quite sure. But unfortunately, he's been shuffled back into P14. His teammate Kavonis got ahead, or will he let him go? Because both Saubers didn't work in harmony together back at the Singapore Grand Prix, because Freefall was quicker than him in Singapore, but he ended up tripping over his toes, unfortunately, back at the Singapore Grand Prix. So the gap is 1.3 then. Bosch Evans trying to find a way to get himself back in DRS range. Harry Palmer's overtaking Diddy in the most obscure place. Unconventional overtake there from Harry Palmer, made it work, but Diddy's been dropped into P7 now. Is the harsh to medium strategy for Harry Palmer going to pay in his favours? We know the hard compound tyre is a very good tyre around here, very durable indeed. Maybe the tyre could be better than mediums in the next few laps of this Grand Prix, but Bosch Evans has made a big mistake, and King Panda is all over the back of him once again with the DRS wide open. So it looks like Jake Garrett will pull away once again, and Panda puts himself back into second place. AJ Wuhan is the back of Hobbs, and here he is with the overspeed. Hobbs, he go down the inside of Bosch Evans there as a side-by-side in towards turn 12. Keep an eye on nice and clean, which they have done, but they're still side-by-side in towards 13 now in these sequence of corners. AJ just gets ahead of Hobbsy there. I thought for 1 second Hobbsy would turn it into a double overtake, but at the same time he was defending from AJ from behind, and AJ now puts himself into P4. Very, very intense moment there for Bosch Evans, seeing two cars come at him in great speed in the corner line turn 12, but luckily no contact was made. It kept it nice under control, and AJ puts himself into P4 now. Once again, AJ Wuhan looking very strong at this stage of the Grand Prix, putting pressure on the guys in front, forcing his way forwards in this DRS trainer course. As we head towards turn number 1 we go with two Mercedes in front of us. King Panda and Bosch Evans looking really strong so far in this Grand Prix. A bit of a moment for AJ Hobbsy out of turn number 1 there. Little One on the hard compound tyres is fighting with KXI, two former rivals, KXI and Little One as well. They're fighting for P8 and P9 with Ben Clark and 4-star right behind 2, followed in the second DRS train of course. So the pack has been split up and the DRS train is from P8 downwards. As we continue following these cars, look at that side by side with Hobbsy and Harry Palmer. Once again, Hobbsy struggling on the medium compound tyres. We're headed down towards the braking zone, in towards turn 11. Hobbsy gets a better exit on the outside, but Harry Palmer will put him under massive pressure with the DRS wide open for both of them. Barely any battery for both of them as Harry Palmer's trying to find a way through. Here comes Mercedes of Bosch Evans, who puts himself into P2 ahead of his teammates. As we watch Hobbsy and Harry Palmer, but here comes Panda side by side with a better exit as he puts himself back into P2, but for the time being, because Bosch Evans is still fighting there, both Mercedes are fighting really hard at this stage of the Grand Prix. They'll be very careful to make contact as well because they're in a great spot. So I think these two are now focused amongst themselves because the nerd Jake Garrett has pulled away by quite a mile as well. The gap is almost 3 seconds there between Hobbsy, Phoenix and King Panda. So it's all about the battle for P2 now in this Grand Prix. Phoenix wants to get us checked out. I think a few people will be happy about Phoenix there. But there's a spinner of a McLaren of Spider who's gone for a spin. Where is that? Turn 16, he's gone for a spin there. As unfortunately he's dropped towards the back end of the field as we head towards turn number 1. But Bosch Evans thinks better about it and stays behind. Their main target now for Bosch Evans and King Panda, if they're going to work as teammates in P2 and P3, keep the guys behind, keep AJ and Hobbsy behind if they can. AJ has got to try to find a way to split up both Bosch Evans and King Panda if he can. Try and separate both Mercedes, which will benefit his race later on in the Grand Prix because both Mercedes can use each other's DRS to try and keep the other guys behind. As we swoop through the first sector, AJ's got a lot of confidence in that Alpine and carries a lot of speed too. He's also got a sufficient amount of ERS to play with if he wants to use it down the back straight to try and overtake Bosch Evans and King Panda. But King Panda gets a terrible exit out to turn 11. Massive slide there. The mini compound tyre is not working for him as the DRS is wide open. And Panda is going to be vulnerable down the straight because Bosch Evans is coming. Here comes AJ Wuhan in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich. King Panda back into P4. AJ Wuhan side by side with Bosch Evans as we head down towards turn 11. We go. Bit of contact there. AJ goes off the track. Might pick up a warning there. It is so brutal. With track limits as Hobbsy is down inside of King Panda as well. So Panda from second down into fifth, but he's fighting back. Has the inside line going towards turn 16 we go. Where's Hobbsy? He's still around the outside. His teammate of Wuban is down in P19. Another terrible race there for Wuban as Hobbsy now puts himself into P4. King Panda is really struggling. Here comes Harry Palmer. Side by side in towards turn 19 we go. Harry Palmer around the outside in towards 19. What a fantastic move there. King Panda, you got to feel sorry for him. P2 down to P6. They just got shuffled backwards like a rock. Oh, sorry, got dropped like a stone. As here comes Diddy now. I was about to say something else there, but here comes Diddy up the inside. Oh, Harry Palmer just to the corner. It could be 2 for 1 there for Diddy, but Harry Palmer gets back on the throttle and recollects the car as we go side by side between Diddy and King Panda there. Diddy gets up, puts himself up into P6. But the Ferrari driver has some tremendous pace there. Does Diddy. He finished P2, I think, at the Imola Grand Prix. And he was close back at the Canadian Grand Prix as well. So Diddy's found some great form recently. But King Panda was second place, leader of the DRS train, down into 7th there. So he got bullied there, unfortunately for him. Absolutely bullied by the rest of the drivers. But AJ Wuhan now puts himself into P2. What can he do in the Alpine? Of course, he can't break away from this DRS train because it's so difficult to do so. And look who's Spider gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane and he retires. Bosch Evans goes up into P2, goes a bit deep in the corner. AJ, can he try and find back? No, he can't. But Harry Palmer is defending from Diddy. Diddy's got some mighty pace there. He's lacking all over the place as Harry Palmer. As we've got rolling retirement in this Grand Prix. What a great battle there for P2 as Diddy gets so close to the back of Harry Palmer. But what I want to mention is the battle between KXI and Little One, because Little One was 2 seconds away from this train. Now he's 1.2. So Little One, KXI and Ben, this could be a massive DRS train fight for P2. Do you know what? If these guys join in, Little One and KXI, it'll be a fantastic race to battle for P2. Forget Phoenix, he's pulled away. But this is a battle for P2 then. There's only 2 more spots left on the podium. The question is, which spots will be occupied by which drivers as we head down towards turn 1 there? Harry Palmer's hard compound tyres should be coming into effect now. Because the medium compound tyres, when they start to fade away, they will slide around like a 50 pence piece, as Martin would say. They overheat quite a lot, and there's no way you can try and reduce that. Try and minimise the wheel spin on the exit of the corners. Braking into corners while the rear tyres will be locking up, so you can be really careful on the medium compound tyres not to lose the car because it's so sensitive as well. You can be very accurate in terms of braking zones and accelerators as well, and carrying the speed of the car. You can be you're going to really manage the medium compound tyres when it starts to get older. But in the background, you can see that Red Bull and Ben Clark on the back of KXI. Little One is in DRS range of King Panda now. So it's a big DRS train fight between P2. As here comes AJ now side by side in towards the heavy blinker zone. Level pegging as they make contact there. AJ loses the back of the car. But as we head down towards turn 12 we go. This fight continues in the sequence of corners. AJ there, but almost lost the rear end of the car as Bosch Evans has the inside line. Here comes Hobbs with the inside of AJ. Towards 16 we go, but AJ has a better exit as he stays in P3. This is a fantastic fight. I love this circuit because you can fight side by side into different corners as well. This circuit provides some fantastic entertainment as Harry Palmer is putting the pressure on Hobbsy there for P4. Diddy goes a bit wide. Out of the triple right-hander we go. As look at that, Harry Palmer looking to go down the inside in the final corner, but he can't quite do it as the DRS has been enabled. Look at Diddy as well, almost side by side with Palmer going towards the main straight. As look at AJ still pressurising Bosch Evans as we head towards turn 1 there, trying to do the old switcheroo, but not able to get the traction he needs to try and go side by side with Bosch Evans in towards turn 1. This is a fantastic fight between all these guys here. It's thrilling, it's entertainment, this track. And this is why this is one of the best US circuits we've had so far. Forget Miami, forget Las Vegas, and look at this. Harry Palmer there. You can see that much more confidence than Hobbsy. Hobbsy's going deep into corners, losing his momentum a bit in the first sector there. And scuffy few corners as Harry Palmer gets a good run out of turn 9. Look at this. AJ's ahead of Bosch Evans. Was that tactical? And Hobbsy now side by side with Bosch Evans. Could that have been tactical to get the DRS? As contact there between all of them. And Harry Palmer goes through. He's up into P3 now, side by side with Bosch Evans. DRS is enabled though. I don't think Bosch Evans has it. He does. So that was very tactical there for Bosch Evans because AJ got ahead of him. Look at these guys going wheel to wheel. Look at these guys fighting in towards turn 11 we go. Let's see what happens as Bosch Evans there slides to the corner. What's their contact with Harry Palmer? Harry Palmer's... Oh, there's contact there. AJ not giving Bosch Evans any room whatsoever. And now Diddy's up the inside. Here comes Diddy. He puts himself into P4. Can Bosch Evans go down the inside in towards 16? It can be so close between these two, but Diddy gets a better exit. And he puts himself into P4. Hobbsy, however, been dropped backwards. He's been demoted into P7. But we know he made contact with somebody in towards turn 11. He made contact with Bosch Evans there, overtaking AJ, but made contact with Bosch Evans, sorry. And here comes Little One up the inside now. His hardcore power tires looking really good so far. Harry Palmer's been free. There's contact between Little One and Hobbsy there. DRS enabled to former Tier 3 drivers themselves as we head towards turn 1. Here we go, the battles absolutely everywhere. Little One puts himself into P7 ahead of Hobbsy. KXI looking to try and get itself inside the fun as well. For 1 second, I thought Harry Palmer broke out the DRS range, but AJ is still there. No, he's not anymore. The gap's gone to 1.2. You can see the hardcore power tyres are better, and the pendulum is swinging towards his way. The offset is coming towards Harry Palmer as well. The hardcore power tyres is now better than the mediums. He's broke free of the DRS. And now let's see then how he manages to do so, because this is a really important phase for Harry Palmer, because the other medium compound tyres, they're easy. Oh, look at that. The Haas in the background just gets a wobble on. And the corner, that's Tobes who gets a wobble on. And now here comes Diddy. Diddy could be looking for a podium, but he has a 3-second penalty. 2 drivers have a penalty in this Grand Prix. Diddy is one of them. He capitalised in Imola because other people had penalties, but this time he has one. Hobbsy gets shown the outside there, as now here comes 4-star around the outside of Hobbsy, but Hobbsy defends that one, going towards 11, but gets another poor exit. You can see him really squirming away out of these slow speed corners as we head towards 16. His teammate Ruben struggling once again as he goes for a spin down there in the first sector. Does Ruben? And Ruben is the reason why Hobbsy, in fact, yeah, Harry Palmer gets a 3-second penalty then. This could be a game changer in this race. And here comes AJ and Diddy in the pit lane, as Diddy follows AJ in as they both pit onto the hardcore power tyres. Maybe a bit too early, but we'll see then. They're going for the undercut. The undercut is powerful around here in USA, of course, but new tyres and a high-speed track as well. Flowing with multiple corners, slow speed, the combinations this track brings as well, with the high-speed corners in the first sector, the slow-speed corners in the middle sector. That's where the most time is found and gained, as these two made their way to the pit lane on the brand new set of hardcore power tyres. Then they can use the clean air to their advantage, try and overcut the rest of the guys in the front of the field there. But Clerpior, as Freefall gets ahead of Clerpior, puts himself into P9. Not been a good race so far for Freefall, because we saw a fantastic race in the Canadian Grand Prix, but like you said, he practiced for Canada, but maybe not so much here in USA, of course. As AFL picks himself up a 3-second penalty, couldn't really run it down in P14 on the all-set media compound tyres there. That's looking at Hobbsy, Diddy, and AJ Wuhan got ahead of AFL and Ben Clock as well. Ben Clock rejoins behind him, going for the undercut as well, as Clear PR overtook Freefall again. as Little One overtook KXI and Bosch Evans and King Panda. Will they respond, of course? Who has the call on the strategy? Because remember back in 2015, when I think it was Hamilton who pitted first, even though Rosberg had the advantage in 2015. So which one of these two will pit first? Will it be King Panda or will it be Bosch Evans? Because one of them has got to go for an extra lap. It depends who. As King Panda then is the first one to pit out of the Mercedes duo. Bosch Evans will continue around the final corners, go for one more flying lap then with the DRS wide open. There's Harry Palmer right in front of us. His tyres should be better shape in comparison to other people. It's really important for Harry Palmer now to build that gap as much as he can against the people on all the medium compound tyres. So when he goes on the medium compound tyres, he has the advantage then and try and catch back up. Try and reclaim P2. But he does have a 3-second penalty, so it might be a bit difficult for him. In the latter stage of this Grand Prix, when he's fighting other people on the medium compound tyres, he needs to use these hard compound tyres right now to capitalise and build that gap as big as he can before these guys go into pit lane. So, what's the situation? 3/4 pitted into P15 on the bonus set of hard compound tyres, gets ahead of his teammate Cavonis, who's entering turn number 1 here. Where's the rest of the guys? So, Diddy's up into P10. He's broke the DRS actually from King Panda. AJ and Diddy have broke the DRS. Remember, these two pitted at the same time. King Panda pitted 1 lap later. There he is, rejoins the P11, gets ahead of Hobbsy, but look at that. King Panda has a big moment out of turn 10. Maybe his hard compound tyres are not in the right operating window. Tobes and 4-star scrapping away for P6 there, as Tobes has the DRS, massive overspeed on the RB. Puts him, 4-star, almost lost it out of turn 12 there. Could have ended his race right there and then. Harry Palmer spun! Harry Palmer's gone for a spin at the exit of turn 15 and he's been demoted into P4, but crucially still in this DRS race there. Harry Palmer has made a lot of mistakes in this Grand Prix. Remember on lap 1 he made a big mistake, as Phoenix now has pitted to go on the hard compound tyres. Phoenix can extend his stint however laps he wants. Right, we're entering the second phase of this Grand Prix where people are pitting onto a bonus set of hards or mediums, but the harders of Little One and Harry Palmer. Little One needs this Grand Prix as well, gets ahead of Harry Palmer. We've seen in the past that we've seen plenty of battles between Little One and Harry Palmer in Division 3. They're back together again on the circuit. Little One, after a massive break of racing, rejoins here in USA and puts on a fantastic display. As Harry Palmer's looking for a move on the inside. He made contact as well in towards turn 10. Harry Palmer looking for moves. That's not really in good places, especially in the first sector. Don't want to go side by side. These two need to follow each other. They can't afford to scrap amongst themselves because they know they're going to go in the medium compound tyres later, and they have to catch up towards in the Grand Prix as well. There's KXI P3 on the hard compound tyres, followed by Tobes, as Phoenix then rejoins in P6 side by side with Claire PR with the DRS open. This is going to be a very easy move, and this is the first overtake Phoenix has done so far in the Grand Prix. That's Claire PR being overtaken by Phoenix, the net race leader in P5. Hobbsy in the back of King Panda. There we are. They were side by side. There comes Diddy. Diddy's up to P7 ahead of AJ Wuhan, and Hobbsy puts himself into P9. We start to see some own little groups there in the midfield because they've been separated in that big DRS trade. So we've got some groups developing. There's separate little groups, of course, because these guys have been separated because of the undercuts as well. People pitted at different times, and that's very interesting because we'll see if Hobbsy and King Panda has the pace to catch up towards AJ and Diddy there. Just in front of us, that's AJ and Diddy scrapping away from P7 to P8. They're running in a good place, but unfortunately Diddy does have a 3-second tap into the Grand Prix. We're halfway into the Grand Prix, lap 14 out of 28 here in Kota. So far, it's Phoenix who's dominating this Grand Prix. The only thing that can go wrong for him is a safety car. As look at that, Little One puts the pressure as Harry Palmer overtook him for first place. The only thing that could go wrong for Phoenix so far is a safety car in P5. But, KXI's gone for a spin in the wall. And he faces backwards there in a very unusual place. How on earth did he do that? I'm not quite sure. But KXI there, unfortunately, go for a spin. He retired here in USA last season as well. And now Phoenix is in the DRS range of Toby as we exit turn 12. This should be a very easy overtake with the power of the DRS and the slipstream and the newer tyres, of course. Little One is putting the pressure on Harry Palmer. Here is Little One. He puts himself back into first place. And Phoenix there will overtake Claire Piotr Tobes as he puts himself into P3 ahead of the Haas driver who's go for a very long stint on the hardcore power tires before he goes on to the medium power tires. And here comes AJ up to the inside of KXI. He knows it's very important that he sticks with Diddy. He can't afford to let Diddy pull away, as KXI is still on the inside there, but almost does a Sebastian Vettel back in 2018 and spin the car, but saves it. Remember back in 2018 when Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo made contact, and that's when Vettel went for a full 360 again as Harry Palmer's pitted. That's quite early, to go on the mini-cup power tyres. I thought he'd go out later or stay out later to try and reduce the deficit on the stint on the mini-cup power tyres. But Matthew Harvey says, can't wait to get back in this league. Matthew, are you MCFC Harvey or something like that? Because we've got different Harveys here. MUFC Harvey, is that you? So Harry Palmer has rejoined on the mini-cup power tyres as he rejoins at the P12. So a lot of work to do for Harry Palmer. 30 laps left to go, and his main target now to use the mini-cup power tyres, try and regain what he's lost so far. Ben Clark has even overcut him as well, as 4 stars right at the back. They're side by side in the first sector, but of course Harry Palmer's on new mini-cup power tyres should have the grip to try and defend from 4-star. As we head to the first sector, 4-star really struggling to find his lines in those sequence of corners. So King Panda right at the back of KXI as we head down towards turn number 10. And King Panda overtakes. Hobbs is going to come through. Bosch Evans is going to come through as well. KXI could be dropped like a stone. And here comes Bosch Evans. There could be a double overtake for Bosch Evans side by side with Hobbsy and KXI. As we head down towards turn 12, we go. Bosch Evans up the inside of Hobbsy as we head down towards the corner. Hobbsy defending, has the outside line, swoops through, and has the inside line go towards the next corner. But Bosch Evans is not going to give up, but now he does. What a fantastic defence there from Hobbsy. Will Bosch Evans go down the inside towards 16? No, he doesn't. He stays behind. No, mate. Harvey 05291. Oh, I remember back in the Cone Cup, you were teammates with me and Freefall and Hobbsy. Here comes Phoenix now side by side with Little One. It should be a very easy overtake. As there's a spinner. Oh, did he save the car? He did. Claire Piar had a big moment out of turn 20. And he's been demoted down his P6 there. Spun the car, but saves it. Almost went to the wall. But luckily hasn't broken his end plate. Otherwise, it'll be raced under dusted. Here comes Bosch Evans now side by side with Hobbsy as we head down towards turn 1. Outbreaks himself. Does Hobbsy get a switch back? He will go side by side, but Bosch Evans has the racing line as he stays in P8. So Bosch Evans and King Panda are back together again, like they were in the first stint of this Grand Prix. Hobbsy, of course, pitted very early in the Grand Prix, and that's why the guys behind are starting to follow through on their better tyres. But Matthew, mate, hopefully you're doing well. I know that's in the Cone Cup that we didn't really speak that much, but at the same time, he did quite a lot. He did help us in the Cone Cup as well. Here comes King Panda, then next take on Clerpiot. Pulls the left-hand side with the DRS open. King Panda, sorry about that. And here comes AJ and Diddy going side by side in towards turn 12, but Diddy backs out as AJ puts himself into P4. King Panda, of course, went for a longer stint in comparison to AJ, and Diddy, hence why he got overcutted massively. King Panda, though, with his fresh tyres, is looking to try and get back on Diddy and AJ, so he's almost in the DRS range of those two. As Bosch Evans goes up the inside of Clerpiot, had to make that move stick, otherwise he can't afford to lose DRS. He actually lost the DRS towards his teammate as well. Hobbsy now doing the switchback under and over and goes up into P8. Nice move there from Hobbsy as he puts himself into P8. But of course, he's on older tyres, so it might be a bit difficult for him. He pitted very early in the Grand Prix. Little One is in the pit lane to go on the mini-cup power tyres. Harry Palmer's 2 seconds away from KXI. I'm surprised that Harry Palmer did the hardest medium strategy, because we've seen in Mexico it didn't work out well for him because he rejoined way behind the guys on the hardcore power tyres. And even though it was on medium-cup power tyres, he never caught up to the guys ahead. So once again, Harry Palmer, for the 3rd time this season, it must be said, back in Canada when he went from wet on the wet cup power tyres on the inter track, and back in Mexico when he started on the hardcore power tyres, it didn't work well for him. So Harry Palmer needs to learn his strategies a bit, because it's not really worked out for him so far. And I need to learn to reduce the story as well. But anyways, Diddy on the back of AJ Wuhan. I think King Panda's in a great place to get a podium on his first race back in CRL. We know that Toby's got a pit. And Diddy OX, has got a 3-second time penalty. King Panda on his return back to CRL in Division 2. Could be on course for a podium as Ben in the background overtaking Clerpiot. Ben once again running a solid race for OWR in the Red Bull. Of course, the Norwegian driver, the only Norwegian here so far. Little One has only taken 4-star. He's on the mid-compound tyres, of course. Harry Palmer's just 2 cars in front of him. There he is in P10. So look, Little One is looking really strong as well. But the harsh to medium strategy was better in the last game. But for some reason, there's something about the mid-compound tyres when they get old, they fade away dramatically, like the soft compound tyres do. And in the pit lane comes Toby to end his hard stint. These guys have done so well so far. Give credit to all 18 drivers there who is still running this Grand Prix. No safety car, no virtual, despite it being a very difficult circuit as well. Only a few people picked up penalties as well in this Grand Prix, despite it being a brutal track for track limits. Right, both Mercedes are back together. This is a battle for the podium between both Mercedes. Although Diddy has a 3-second penalty, both Mercedes can find themselves. In fact, they can't. Only one more spot for the podium because AJ's in P2. So, which Mercedes is it going to be? Is it going to be Bosch Evans, who is challenging for the championship, or is it King Panda, who is trying to get a podium on his first race back here in CRL? I know that King Panda had a big battle with Basil Fox. Basil Fox is good friends with Bosch Evans as well. But we haven't seen Basil Fox so far this season. Hopefully he returns back. It's nice to see people returning as well, trying to recreate and develop this league as well. We've seen a few people returning back as Bosch Evans puts himself into P4 ahead of his teammate. But we know in the latter stages, this is going to be very intense between both Mercedes drivers fighting for a podium. But can they catch up towards Diddy and AJ? They have the tyre advantage over Diddy and AJ, but do they have the pace? Because the Diddy and AJ are doing a really good job so far, just trading DRS, trying to stick in ahead of each other, try and reduce, well, try and keep the guys behind in P4 and P5. Hobbs, though, is clinging on to DRS, but unfortunately for him, he's outside of it just right now in this stage of the Grand Prix because he pitted very early on the mid-compound tyres. So did Diddy and AJ as well. The longer you can extend your stint on the mid-compound tyres, the better as well. To reduce the stint life on the hard compound tyres and have the most grippiest tyres towards the end. Harry Palmer then overtakes Claire PR, puts himself into P8 ahead of the Red Bull driver. Little One is right there as well. The Little One showed some tremendous pace. And he almost hits the back of the Red Bull driver. I thought for 1 second it was going up the inside, but gets much a better exit, but makes big contact with the Red Bull driver. So Little One needs to be more aware, because Claire PR is on old 18-lap all compound tyres. It should have been a very easy overtake, but a Little One there just misjudging it a little bit. Takes a second gap with a tyre diff change with 20 laps. That's me. Sorry, let me speak English properly. 10-second gap with a tyre change with 20 laps. That's mental, lol. Yeah, it is mental. Very mental indeed. Here comes Little One, but not able to go to the inside, but should get a better exit with the helping hand of DRS. You should have overtaken Claire PR at turn number 1 as Diddy is ahead of AJ for P2. But Bosch Evans, slowly but surely, is coming at him. This could be a big fight once again, like we saw in the first stint on the mid-compound tyres. The battle for P2. There is 10 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. We know the race is already decided for Phoenix. But the question is, there is a battle for P2 between Diddy, AJ, Bosch Evans, King Panda, potentially Hobbsy, maybe Little One and Harry Palmer. Little One's got some tremendous pace on his mid-compound tyres. He should be very quick towards the end, but Harry Palmer, unfortunately, not making that stint work from hards to mediums. As we make our way now towards turn 1 we go. Bosch Evans is closing in the gap. Is 1.3 seconds there. So the Mercedes driver is making inroads as KXI is in the pit lane finally. And Claire PR, well, he's extending the hard compound tyres a very long way in this race. Potentially hanging for a safety car. A goal hanging for a safety car maybe. And that's what could save his race. But Bosch Evans there is almost within DRS range of AJ Wuhan, who's putting pressure on Diddy still. So the two Mercedes boys, Hobbsy, have caught up towards Diddy and AJ, and this is going to be a big fight between P2. We know Diddy has got a 3-second penalty. He's just hoping people around him have a 3-second penalty to level it out. Here we go then on the back straight with the DRS wide open. AJ knows that he's under massive pressure because Bosch Evans and King Panda have caught up. As the DRS is wide open for the Mercedes boys. There is 8 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. It's going to be intriguing to see who ends up on the podium for P2 and P3. Hobbsy, however, has dropped off dramatically. The gap is 2.2 now. So Hobbsy's dropped away. Bosch Evans and AJ spun. AJ's gone for a spin and a virtual safety car has been deployed. It's a VSC and AJ unfortunately will not get a podium now. He has lost his front wing. He's dropped it out of turn 13. What a massive shame there for AJ Wuhan. Now, it's the 2 Mercedes boys. Could be on the podium together. And we'll see. Diddy, unfortunately for him, it's a Ferrari 1-2. It's a Mercedes 3-4, sorry. But we know Diddy will not get on the podium unless Bosch Evans and King Panda pick up a 3-second penalty, of course, in the Grand Prix. So no safety car. So Jake Garrett can breathe easy. Here he is in P1. George Hargreaves. Do you remember that guy? George Hargreaves picked up a 3-second driver penalty for speed under a safety car here, because George was trying to go for race wins in season 8 or season 9, but unfortunately picked up a driver penalty for speed under the safety car. Claire is on a bonus set of soft compound tyres. That virtual safety car's worked in his favour. He's got the soft compound tyres, but has rejoined a long way away. Ben Clark, once again, doing a fantastic job in P6, it must be said. The Red Bull driver running a solid race so far, in 6th place. And now Little One is piling the pressure on Harry Palmer, the battle for P7 there between the 2 medium runners. Little One is putting pressure on Harry Palmer, who had a very strong start to this race, De Palmer, but unfortunately made a few mistakes along the way. As Cavonis picks himself up a 3-second penalty. Here's the battle for P2 between the 2 Mercedes drivers and Diddy. It could be a double Mercedes podium, it will be, but Bosch Evans and King Panda have got to keep it nice and clean in terms of picking up no penalties at all in this Grand Prix. Little One is ahead of Harry Palmer. Next target for him is Ben in P6. Fantastic pace from Little One there on the mini compound tyres. Can he catch up towards Ben and Hobbsy to finish in P5 potentially? I don't think he'll get towards King Panda or Bosch Evans, but we'll see. Anything can happen in this Grand Prix. We've had 1 virtual safety car so far, caused by AJ Wuhan, who was looking on course for a podium and unfortunately dropped out at turn 13. Was there contact between him and Diddy? I'm not quite sure. And Hobbsy almost lost it at the final corner as well, in the background, in the Aston Martin, because Ben is starting to catch up towards Hobbsy. In fact, that was Wuban, sorry. Wuban lost in the final corner because there he is, lets these guys go. So apologies, Hobbsy, it wasn't you, it was your teammate who dropped out at the last corner. As we swoop through the first sector, Bosch Evans has the best tyres out of the trio. He has the youngest tyres on the Mercedes. King Panda struggling in the first sector. You can see him missing his apexes there, missing his lines, and Diddy's under massive pressure from Bosch Evans there. As we head towards turn 11 we go. Bosch Evans, it could be a simple overtake with the DRS wide open here on the back straight. Here we are then with the overtake available, DRS wide open. It should be a simple overtake. As here he is, gaining again and gaining. Pulls the left hand side and he puts himself into P2. It was very intense moments there, Bosch Evans, in the early stage of the Grand Prix as he made contact with Hobbsy. As here comes Harry Palmer, puts himself into P7. Here comes Toby on a clear PR, a 4-star, sorry, puts himself into P9. There is 6 laps left to go in this race. It's been a very good race so far, but I don't think the battle for P2 is over just yet. Can Diddy? Can King Panda? We'll see what happens. Most importantly for Bosch Evans and King Panda is to not pick up a 3-second penalty in this Grand Prix. Otherwise, that's their podium chances disappeared. Phoenix, however, can afford about 3-second penalties, 9 seconds, because he's got a massive gap over the rest of the field there. And here comes Diddy now, as he makes his way towards turn 1. Surely Phoenix should be announced as a Div 1 driver, because there's no point in him hanging around in Division 2. It must be boring for him just to dominate every single race by a milestone, sorry. Surely he should be into Division 1, where he should be challenging the likes of Walter and the rest of the guys there, as AJ Wuhan sets fast up the Grand Prix on a bonus set of mini compound tyres. Disappointment for AJ. Looking very strong indeed to get his 3rd podium of the season, but he drops it out of the corner at turn 13. And now it's left to these 3 to decide what order it's going to be for the battle for P2. King Panda looks like he's dropping away slightly on the hard compound tyres there. Bosch Evans does have the youngest set of the hard compound tyres. Heading down towards turn 11 we go. Diddy keeps King Panda at bay, keeping himself in the middle of this DRS battle here, as he has a massive slide out of turn at 13, heading towards 16 now. 5 laps left to go. You can see these people sliding around here. It is a brutal track indeed. The tyres can overheat dramatically, especially in the triple right-hander here. The left front takes a lot of punishment, especially as one of the first sector. I remember in the old games that when it was the soft to medium strategy or two soft strategy, the tyres would overheat dramatically as the two Sabres there swap places as well for the battle for P14. Freefall hasn't had it his way so far in this Grand Prix. Haven't really heard much from Freefall, but Canada, he really did steal the spotlight to get his first podium of the season. But here it's a different story in USA. In 40th place, both Sabres are fighting away, but of course Freefall's in a brand new set of soft compound tyres. But Hobbsy, though, is under pressure for Ben. Remember the last time these two came together? It was the Singapore Grand Prix where they had the battle for P3, but Hobbsy had the better of him. Oh no, Ben! The Norwegian driver picks himself up a 3-second penalty. That's his first penalty as well, unfortunately. So Hobbsy might be secured in P5 unless a little one has the pace to catch up. The gap between himself and little one is about 2.7 seconds there. There he is in the background, and actually he has dropped Harry Palmer. So little one there showing some fantastic pace. The gap's under 10 seconds there. But once again, Diddy puts the pressure on Bosch Evans there for P2. If Diddy does get the podium, unfortunately we can't interview him because he's on the Xbox side of things. But Diddy has really stepped up the mark this season. In the last few races, really showed some promising pace. Picked up a podium back at the Imola Grand Prix. Couldn't speak to him that day because he's on Xbox. There is no way for me and Diddy to communicate with each other. Only on Discord, but we can't stream it on Discord. Who's that in the background? Was it Ben who made a big mistake at the final corner? It was Ben, so had a bit of a moment out of turn at 20. Ben as well, is there a podium for him? Because he's got some mighty pace, but unfortunately making a few mistakes along the way in terms of penalties as well. So I do see Ben get a podium sometime, but when is it? That's the question. Maybe he needs to sort out his qualifying, because in qualifying hasn't been really strong, and in the race that's when he shows some decent pace. But look at little one, the gap is 1.3. He is closing down Hobbsy and Ben Clock. Who's that making a mistake? Is that Aston Martin? Is that Ruben? It is Ruben. Ruben's made a mistake there, unfortunately, out of turn 7 and turn 8 in the first sector. But so far, it's been a good race. No safety cars. We've only had one virtual safety car. Tobes has caught up to Harry Palmer on fresher medium compound tyres. Here he is then with the overtake button, pulls the left-hand side, and he takes away P8 there from Harry Palmer. They do have a 3-second penalty, both of them, so this battle will continue on between those two. They're level pegging on penalties as well, so we'll see which one of these two finishes ahead of who. Little one, though, ever since he dropped Harry Palmer, has showed some tremendous pace. Diddy has left the session, unfortunately, so that's him out of this battle, and King Panda will overtake him now for P3. It's a double Mercedes podium for both of them. As they exit the final corner, DRS enabled for King Panda, but I think this will be how it is towards the end now, because King Panda does not have the pace to try and beat his teammate of Bosch Evans. Little one is almost in DRS range of Ben and Hobbsy as well, so watch out for Little one in P7. Diddy has joined back, but unfortunately he's been dropped out of the podium. He was just hoping that King Panda or Bosch Evans would pick up a 3-second penalty, but not to be, as King Panda and Bosch Evans did a really good job of not getting any penalties at all. But watch out for Little one. He's put the pressure. He's chasing down Ben Clock and Hobbsy on those medium compound tyres. At this stage, the medium should be reaching the end of their peak performance, but he's still showing some tremendous pace. And I think Aston Martin once again has gone for a spin, but no matter what happens, no safety cars or virtual safety cars were deployed. Here goes Ben now with the DRS wide open. As he pulls out to the left hand side, he takes away P5 away from Hobbsy. Disappointment for Hobbsy because he struggled really hard on those hard compound tyres and the mediums too. He was one of those people that pitted early because he was struggling with the tyres, but fortunately for him, he's not able to keep the tyres alive or keep them in good shape. Really struggling around on those old medium compound tyres and the hard compound tyres too as we head through the triple hander. Watch out for little one now. He will take away P6 away from Ben as he has a 3-second time to see, but can he catch up towards Hobbsy as he makes his way at turn 19 and turn 20? Ethan, the tier 3 champion himself, is closing down Hobbsy and Ben Clark. He does not have the DRS on this occasion now. We climb towards tier 1 between Hobbsy and Ben, but Hobbsy cannot get past for the time being. His main target though is Little One, because Little One is on fresher mediums. Do you know what? Both Hasses have done a stellar job so far for P7 and P8, but Little One could find himself at one or two more spots, depending if he could get in the DRS range of Hobbsy. Catching is one thing, overtaking is another thing, as Hobbsy has a massive slide, and his teammate too spins out of turn number 1. Ruben's gone for a spin out of turn number 1, but now Hobbsy under massive danger because Little One is right behind him, and he's dropped out of 1-second range at Ben Clark, but he should get it back in there because he has DRS there, as Harry Palmer still following Tobes. Now Little One has the DRS on Hobbsy, but the problem is though he will only have one more lap to try and catch Hobbsy for P6. And here comes Harry Palmer with the inside of Toby. That's a nice move there, puts himself into P8. I wonder, when can Harry Palmer get the strategy right for once, because the hard to medium strategy hasn't worked at all. By pitting a little bit too early on the hard compound tyres, go to mediums. He needs to learn that the medium compound tyres is a bad tyre. Unless, of course, you're at Silverstone. The strategy is soft to medium or medium to soft in Silverstone. But it's the last lap of the Grand Prix. And once again, it's been a fantastic display from Jay Garrett, but the battle for P5 is heated up between Hobbsy, Ben Clark and Little One, who is finally joined this party. But can he overtake Hobbsy as we head down towards turn 1 we go? Hobbsy using the DRS to protect himself against Little One and to overtake Ben Clark as well. If Hobbsy's smart, in fact, here comes Little One side by side in towards turn 2, and Hobbs and Little One puts himself into P3. Fantastic move there. And it's going to be P5 as well, because Ben Clark has a 3-second time penalty. What a race from Little One and King Panda on their races back. Both back together as well. Former Division 3 drivers, Tier 3 drivers, sorry, must be said. But Hobbsy's not giving up just yet. Here is Phoenix headed down towards turn 12. So the spotlight can be given towards Little One and Hobbsy. Can Hobbsy find a way past? As we head towards turn 12 we go. Currently picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Hobbsy with massive wheel spin out of turn 12. As DRS is enabled, here comes Hobbsy then on Little One. Little One is derating as Hobbsy takes away P6 away from Little One, but Little One's still around the outside there. Oh, he gets the squeeze, but luckily not off the track. Harry Palmer has massive wheel spin as Toby gets ahead. And Little One, he couldn't defend because he had no DRS against the likes of... Here comes Phoenix now. Phoenix makes his way towards the line, and for the 4th time this season, Jay Garrett wins the USA Grand Prix and takes another victory away from the rest of his competitors to extend his championship gap over the rest of them, as Bosch Evans there will finish in P2 ahead of King Panda. It's a double Mercedes podium. Fantastic drive from both Mercedes to finish on the podium in P2 and P3, as the rest make their way towards the line. Hobbsy gets ahead of Little One for P6. Ben Clark is P7 ahead of Toby. Little One, Harry Palmer finishes at P9. 4-star in 10th place as AJ will finish in P11, or does he? He finishes at P11. Once again, another dominant display from Jay Garrett in P1. Fantastic drive indeed. As we'll get the rest of the guys on the podium interviews to hear what they have to say. But Phoenix, well done again. Your 4th win on the season. And the extended championship lead over 4-star. I think Bosch Evans might get ahead of 4-star as well very shortly, because 4-star has been suffering in the last few races. So Bosch Evans closes down the gap towards 4-star for P2 the championship, as Hobbsy does as well, gets ahead of 4-star here in USA. Oops, I invited the wrong person. I need to invite Phoenix first. Josh has joined, and Phoenix needs to get here as well. Phoenix has joined the party, so as promised, Josh, we'll start with you because I know you got to get to your girlfriend.
I got time now, so you can do me second. Whoa, hold on.
We'll start off on P3
I'll wait till
upwards.
second.
We'll start off with P3 upwards then. So, King Panda, it's your first race back, mate. The last time you raced here in USA, you finished in P1, but here in Division 2, you've got some fantastic pace as well. Were you expecting any of this as you made your return back towards this division and CRL as well?
No, not really.
Panda,
I mean, I found
Panda.
a setup.
Before you start,
Yeah?
make sure your voice is shared as well, because it's been a long time.
Mine should be on share regardless.
Continue, mate.
So, I didn't expect the pace. This is not normally one of my strong tracks, but I did find a setup earlier which improved me by like over a second. So, coming into it, didn't know about race pace, but I was comfortable in quali. The main plan was to work with my teammate because we were close together on the grid. So, the main plan was just to work with my teammate and see what goes from there. But yeah, I mean, surprised me on race pace to be fair.
As well, I think in the first stint on lap 1, I think Phoenix Harry Palmer made a mistake, and you up into P2 at that point. Was your main plan to try and catch up towards Phoenix and try and use Bosch Evans, you to use each other to try and slingshot it past each other, get the gap under 1 second between you and Phoenix?
That was the plan, but Phoenix had a little bit too much pace to be honest, so it didn't really work.
And your main focus
Sometimes
was P2 downwards, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. At that point when he disappeared, it was try and get P2 if you can. If not, and your teammate's second, then having P3 is fine, because second and third to the team's pretty good, so.
Yeah, it's a good bunch of points for you and your teammate as well, because Bosch Evans needs a teammate, as in the last few races his teammate hasn't really been up there, but it could be good for both of you, a new beginning, because in the next upcoming races you could both, if you have good pace still in the next upcoming races, you could both try and challenge Phoenix as well. So I think Mercedes are looking good so far, and we'll see how that transpires in the next couple of races. But it was really intense between all you guys, fighting for P2. Was there any moments you thought that it could have ended in tears? Because we saw a lot of close battle between Hobbsy as well, and Harry Palmer, and yourself and your teammate, and Diddy as well. So was there any doubts in your mind in that race where... Because you went from P2 to P6 at one point, didn't you? You really did struggle in one lap as you got demoted to P6.
Yeah, but the plan was just stay with the train. Literally just stay with the people ahead of me, because it was like 7 of us in a train, and I'd run out of VRS, so I was trying to recoup at the same time, but that's why people kept going past me. But I was like, as long as I stay within second, I'm in that fight for P2 still, so I haven't lost anything, if that makes sense. I'm still in there fighting, so that was the main aim. So.
Well, it's a good way to think of it, because if it was me, if I got dropped into P2 to P6, I think I might lose my head a bit, start making a few mistakes, but you managed to compose yourself and still fight up there. So what a fantastic drive, Panda, as well. And when you pitted, you caught up to AJ, Wuhan and Diddy as well. Your teammate was following you, and in that second stint, was it all about trying to catch AJ, not fighting with your teammate to lose any time towards Diddy and AJ, because you knew that there was only one more spot left at the podium until AJ spun around?
I think we were going to catch AJ anyway, so I reckon we'd have gone past him anyway because he was on older tyres, and we were catching. So, because having old tyres at Texas is, not great to have. But I didn't want to lose any time with my teammate. There was one point where I did switch back on Evans, and I wasn't planning to. I was hoping he'd be further ahead of me, so that I didn't have to go for the switchback on him after a long straight. But thankfully, we didn't have any issues together. We just worked together, so. That's how teammates should be, so I can't complain.
And I think you both did a fantastic job working together as well, so that's what really helped Mercedes beat P2, P3 a day, and the rest of the field as well. So Panda, in your first race back here in Division 2, you did a fantastic job, and it's nice to speak to you as well. Really nice to speak to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bosch Evans, then we move on to you. P2 for you today. Were you a bit disappointed in the first stint? Because I think Harry Palmer made a mistake, and that's automatically allowed Jake Garrett to pull away over a second as well. So do you think there could be more if that didn't happen? You're on mute, by the way, Josh.
Oh, brilliant. No, I'm not going to put any blame on Harry, because we did have a little shindig in the formation lap, I paused to clean my glasses from the fucking steam, and I gave him a tap at the formation lap, and he had cold tyres in the start, so I'm not going to give him any grief for sliding with his tyres when they were cold, because it was already hard for him enough as it is beyond the hards. Even with Harry having that little half spin, I think we could have kept the gap to Jake under a second, but there were some positions moving around which kind of caused us to slow down. So maybe if people behind weren't going for positions on me, we could have kept the gap to under a second, and for at least the first stint try to stay with Jake in his high pace. But nah, I'm not too disappointed. Happy with P2. I've done a little bit of practice for Austin. I hate the track. It's one of my least favourite. I think it's one of the worst flowing tracks in the game, and everywhere is off camber and nasty, and so I'm happy with P2. I wasn't expecting it anyway.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job, because I know you struggled in the practice sessions also as well. Were you a bit nervous with the guys around? Because I know at turn 10, you and Hobson made contact, but you still managed to somehow stay in P2. So was there any moments you were a bit nervous with those battles with all the guys around?
There's a few battles where I was a bit unlike myself and I got my elbows out, because I don't know if it was just seeing Jake run away with it and getting a bit cheesed off. I just didn't want to. My biggest pet peeve is people staying out on old tyres for too long when they know that they're just too slow, and I just couldn't be arsed sitting behind anyone. So I think there was who was it? I think it was a Alpha Tauri that I was quite aggressive within the last sector. I dived it to the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but I just didn't want to wait behind any slow tyres and get held up, and I'm glad I did, because I managed to stick with the. Because I pitted quite late. Obviously, I couldn't pit when Panda pitted, because we're in the same team, the same pit box. So I had to lose out on the undercut. But thankfully, because I was a bit aggressive and I pushed for it, I was able to just get back on the coattails behind them, and then jump ahead once I've charged my battery, and I could run ahead of it.
With your new teammate Panda, how do you think this race is going to go between you and Panda? Did you think that he's going to work with you or battle with you? What was your mind going into this race about your teammate?
I haven't spoken to the guy before. I've seen him racing in the tiers below me a few times last few seasons. And I saw he was on the podium, so I knew he had a bit of pace. I didn't know what sort of pace though, because it's the new game and whatever. But as long as he was clean and fair, that's all I cared for.
And also, what happened between you and AJ? Because you both made contact as well, going down towards turn 13. You almost ruined your race.
It was ridiculous. There was I don't know what he was doing. I'll probably report it, but it was completely unnecessary bit of contact. I know I had a bit of a lock up going into the corner, but I'd recovered, and then I don't know. I guess he just thought that he could just take the racing line as normal, but I was still there. So yeah, it was ridiculous. It was a bit silly, because it could have took my wing off, because he hit me with quite a bit of brashness, like, and then I lost a position to the Ferrari as well, which wasn't ideal. Probably cost me a bit of time as well. So I'll have a look at it, and if it's worth it, I'll check it in the reports.
Well, well done today, Josh Evans, because I know you're closing down 4-star as well. 4-star finished in P9, you in P2. That's a big haul of points you gained over him as well. So do you think in the next race you could try to take P2 away from 4-star?
I think I would have done it already today, no?
I have no idea. I'm not good at maths.
I think the gap between me and 4-star was quite little, so I think I might be in P2 now, and if not, my eyes are set on Jake. Jake's a lot quicker than me. Naturally, he's just a very good sim racer, but I'll see what I can do. I'm going to do my best to challenge him, even though the quality times I'm never going to be able to match him in quality like that. I just haven't got it in me. But when it comes to the race, I'm just not taking second place in the championship quite yet. I won't ever. I'll just fight tooth and nail to the end with Jake. But he's good. He's quick. It's going to be tough for me. He's definitely odds on, but it'll be fun.
Well, I think it is.
We're 20 points behind him.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. Well,
after this race,
not
you know.
anymore.
But yeah, I think
no credit to 4-star as well. He's in it for the championship, but he's just had a bit of tough form, so it's hard to visualize that in the top three. But I'm sure when it comes to tracks that he enjoys more, he'll bounce back a bit.
Anyways, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Panda. P2 and P3 double Mercedes podium for the first time this season. And we move on to the race winner. Jake Garrett, mate, your fourth win of the season. What can I really say, really? How did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, not much happened in all fairness.
Well, it
I got
did.
quite lucky at the start. Well, not for me anyway. I mean, I knew there was a big train behind, but I kept a nice gap. I got away after Josh and Panda and Harry all had the squabble. So it was just the case of getting rid of that 1 second. Because then I could just pull away whilst they were all fighting. Other than that, and keeping just the pace up, it was quite boring in all fairness, but I'll take a win any day.
Talk about boring. It could be the Monaco Grand Prix next week, so that's one race I'm dreading,
Yeah.
especially from a commentator's point of view. But I know the guys at Tier 2, or 19 of you, or 20 of you, will have a tough challenge, and there could be loads of safety cars as well towards the next race in Monaco. So what's your expectations going towards Monaco, mate? Do you have the pace there? Are you good around that track? Do you struggle there?
Put it this way, every time I've raced, I've crashed. There, I don't like Monaco.
I ain't touched Monaco for 2 years, mate, so yeah, I wouldn't.
Last time I did a league race in Monaco, it was under the safety car and I crashed out the race. So I don't have a good reputation around Monaco.
Is your
We'll see.
eyes now focused for the championship? Because we're starting to reach the halfway point. In fact, we're already above the halfway point with about 5 more races left to go, including Monaco. So, yeah, but is your eyes now focused on the championship fully? You had a difficult start to the
Well-
season, but you're getting back up there.
I'm 39, or no, 35 points ahead of Josh right now. It's going to be a little bit higher. After Canada, it was 35. So I've got a nice gap. I can afford to have one messy round, but the rest need to be consistent. I shall be able to bring it home.
You don't have to race in Monaco if you don't want to, Jake. Just take a race off.
It'll bring it a lot closer, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
We'll see.
well. But Jake, once again, mate, well done. Fantastic pace, great driving, and I'll see you at the Monaco Grand Prix next week, mate.
Ciao.
Right, that's it from us. Texas Grand Prix is done and dusted, but we've still got one more race left in Tier 1 for Texas. Join us back for me and Scott, maybe Bjorn or Joachim, depending what those two are doing, for the Texas Grand Prix at 8 o'clock for CRL Division 1. Have a good night. See you all later.
Just let everyone.